Traditionally, these hedge banks are kind of made out of the ditch that runs next to them. So you shovel out the ditch, shovel it here, plant a hedge on it. You can do it by hand with a JCB. It doesn't really matter. The JCB just puts it up here, bashes it into place, or you can do it with shovels. But these straight ditches, they're great when it's really wet weather. They take all the water away really efficiently, but they're not so good in the dry weather because they suck all the water off in a straight line. It joins the ditches in a straight line, goes into the river valley, and often these river valleys the rivers have been straightened as well, and they used to kind of braid and meander, but now they sort of go through more of a straight direct route, and all this contributes to the water just being flushed off the land and out into the sea. And then when you do get dry weather, it dries out really quickly. So I wanted to try something a bit different here. Here's pulled a bank here with a hedge on it, but I haven't put a ditch just running alongside it. I've got the soil from further away where I've done a landscaping project or dug a pond or something like that. So here, when the rain falls here, instead of going down a ditch and out into the river, it pours down here. Okay, come on then. And then it just comes over the edge of this sort of terraced orchard system here, and goes into this pond down here. Likewise, there used to be a straight ditch just running along this sort of boundary hedge at the back of this, what's now a woods here, and it used to just go all along there to the corner and then just go straight down to the river. But now, all the water from around this area comes into here, and it's all sort of fed through little winding channels, and it sort of comes into the pond where it could just sit and gradually soak into the water table over time. So we haven't lost that water, so it's all kind of stored here, and every bank I've made here is like a watershed instead of just being a boundary. I mean, there's still boundaries, but what I've done is I've made all of them into watersheds, so that every side of each different hedge bank the water is channeled a different way. Like all the outer hedges here go into this pond, and then if I just look up here a minute, all these one here, it comes onto this road. Everything the other side of this bank goes into the orchard and into the other pond. So every scrap of rainwater is channeled into somewhere useful where it can be stored, and so I don't run out of water, so that the water table is higher, and the land is more drought resistant, and that works really well. It also encourages wildlife, giving them somewhere to drink in dry weather. All the rain that falls this side of this hedge bank goes into this pond, but all the rain that falls over this side goes down the road here and gets channeled into the other pond further down. Same here, all the rain that falls this side of this bank comes down through the orchard here, and then onto the road down there and across it and into the big pond. But all the rain that falls the other side goes into the same sort of caption as the overflow for this pond, and it sort of comes down this little pipe here and into this like wooded valley drainage system which runs the length of the land, and really everything ends up in here at some point or another. And this is like was the lowest side, so it's been made into this channel. It's on the north facing side as well, which is convenient. So I've got a nice strip of woodland on the north facing side, where part of which the water can sort of fall through. And this goes through a narrow, or rather a wide bendy channel. There used to be just a straight ditch running along here, but now it kind of wiggles and winds and bends and ends up going into another pond where it's stored for longer. So it uses the whole water resource much more efficiently. Above it, this little artificial ridge creates a high bit which faces south, which means that the slope was just slightly it was going like kind of towards the east and south, but it was just sort of slightly just tipping to the north. So by building this high bit here, I've just been able to add just a tiny bit of soil. It didn't take much just to make the land slightly facing south instead of slightly facing north. So by having this little ridge here, it's just meant that the whole land that side can be sort of change the direction where it's facing, so I catch more sunlight. Also from the other side, this bank creates a really nice sun trap for the orchard. Wiggling the ditch is still a work in progress. We're doing a little section at a time. Sort of from up here is sort of finished, and this bit is still under construction. So here's the original straight ditch coming along the hedge here, and then here is being built up to be like a woodland slope with a high footpath running along up here. And then, okay, oh, can't make up his mind. You want to sit on me, sit on me. If you don't, look, go over there. Okay. Anyway, so slope, footpath. At some point this footpath here will split into two. One bit will go along here with the stream, you know, the overflow from the pond. So it sort of goes on a wiggly journey. And here, this will be land. So the path will come up from here and then come up gradually up to the height of this tree here, so that you can walk past this big oak tree at this level here, above where the ditch used to be. And then the water, the overflow, will come this way, much more like a stream on a more kind of bendy channel. And then it will come down here, kind of like where you are there, and down through here. And then the path at the top, I guess, will come down again when it gets past the tree, and then join up to here, making it one path again. This bit is going to be the only bit of the original ditch which will remain. This is partly because one of the first things I put here was this bank, and that's before I had this drainage idea. So this little bit remains, but I'm going to have to double up path and overflow stream on one or the other, so I might have to have like a hardcore bit. I've noticed footpaths often go through stream beds, so here the footpath and the stream bed will share the same bit of land just for a bit. Unless I could work out a way, you know, I could always put a path higher up or something, but I quite like they're just going together here and then splitting off as soon as they get down the other side. But as soon as you get past this moundy bit here, then the path and the stream separate from each other. And clear this bit away, and yes, you've got this one little straight bit, but it kind of represents the history of the land, and it sort of says this is what it was all like originally, just a straight boring ditch just sucking the water off the land, but now it's changed. So it's nice to leave that little bit of history there. This bit here, having a high bit there is very good because the main path is just the other side of it, and then you can't see one path from the other. This bit was done ages ago, so the original ditch literally was there, and this is the original hedge, and had this sort of like landscape slope just to make it like a woodland slope, and now the water goes this way in a kind of wiggly kind of bendy bit, and the main part that you can just see is just there. So having this sort of wet foggy bit here separates this two paths on this very, very narrow bit of woods. So if you like walk through the path there, you just go in a totally different kind of place to be walking down this path. So it's the woods here are only about 20-30 feet wide, so it makes the woods feel bigger, having a choice of totally different paths to go on. That's really good. All of the rainwater that falls in the orchards and in the woods this side all take a different route and come into this pond here, which is a much, much newer, less established pond, but it's much, much bigger. And it's again another great big storage area because it's got no liner, it's just built into the natural clay. It gradually soaks the water back into the water table, so you've got this much more rejuvenated water table, which doesn't just affect here, but over the whole kind of surrounding area, the water table is higher because of these ponds being here. The overflow from this pond comes round the edge of the garden, and that's like that bank there is the boundary of the woods and the garden. So it's again a watershed. All the water that side goes into the woods, all the water this side comes into this channel, and then it comes all the way just snaking around the edge of the garden. Then it comes into a pipe here and comes under what will be my driveway. And then somewhere down here There's a little pipe, and this woodland valley drainage system here is the lower section, and it's designed to be really wide at the base so that the water spreads out and then it spends a long time trickling down across the land, giving it more chance to soak into the ground. And of course this channel is really bendy as well, so it's much longer. A bendy journey going the same distance is going to take longer. So the longer it takes, the more time it has to soak into the ground, and that's really good as well. Originally the ditch used to go just alongside that hedge there, so by having it coming all the way over here, you can see it's wiggled and bent loads, so it's be able to do its job much better. And that's loads more water conserved and stored in the land. And then, whoa, and just down here, it pours into the bottom pond, so it gets collected once again and has to go through the whole process again. So if there's the ponds are, say, not completely full, and then there's a massive storm, then all that water that would go into the river and form a flash flood is then caught in the ponds. So having these ponds and slowing down the water is a really good prevention against flash floods as well. Really, really good. If everyone had ponds to catch the water, the risk of flash flooding, particularly in the summer, would be far, far less. The whole area up to here is then all shaped like a valley going into this woodland drainage ditch here, and then this bank here makes up another watershed, and then where the original hedge is, there it's a bit lower there, so that little bit that can go off that way, but then everything from here onwards, all the rainwater is collected here, which goes into this woodland drainage channel here. So I've got a boggy bit here. It gets boggy when it's really wet in the bottom of this channel, but all the footpaths, apart from the ones that cross it, are all dry, and it means it concentrates the bogginess where I want it to be, and then everything else is nice and dry and able to be cultivated. So it's really good. I've got then wet areas and dry areas, and then I've got like a big variety of different landscapes and habitats all over the place. And high bits of woodland, dry bits, wet bits of woodland, lots of hedges all facing different directions, lots of ponds, so it can maximise the amount of wildlife I can have here and the amount of things I can grow. I think that about covers it. So I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you press the little me, which is somewhere down there, you can see all my other videos. So it's from me and from Ziggy. It's goodbye and see you next time.